If there's one thing that I like almost as much as gaming, it is comic book movies and television. Despite the fact that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is easily my favorite franchise in movies right now, I am actually more of a fan when it comes to silver screen of what the CW has going on in terms of the DC Universe, the Arrowverse. So yes, this is a gaming channel, but I've decided to tackle something new, and I hope that you guys are as excited as I am for me to tell you all about my thoughts on the current state of the Arrowverse. What's going on YouTube? This is Ryan Ramakrishnan. If you're new around here, welcome to the channel. Just know that, like I said, this is a gaming channel. I do post gaming lists, discussions, different gameplay, and all sorts of gaming videos on a regular basis. But I've decided to change things up just for a little bit. This is not going to be the new state of Ryan Ramakrishnan, but it is certainly going to be a new step forward. I'm hoping that in the new year, I will start tackling some new content regarding movies and TV. Probably not a whole lot because I don't keep up as much as I do with gaming, but I am a huge Arrowverse fan, and despite the fact that there are some glaring flaws in these shows, especially last season in Arrow, we don't talk about that too much, but you know what, there are some really awesome moments in all of these shows. And if you ask me, this year has had some really awesome seasons, a lot of really interesting villains and dynamic character development, awesome action, and a lot of excitement for what is to come. So now that the 2018 seasons of Arrow, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, and yes, Black Lightning as well, have concluded, and we saw Elseworlds, which I thought was a really dope crossover, it is time to settle down for a little bit, and the shows will return next year around mid to late January. So I decided for my first video where I tackle something that's not gaming and I talk about my favorite shows on the TV right now, I've decided to rank them, but not just on the shows overall, because that could be maybe for another video, but that's a lot. That's a whole lot of retrospective. We're talking about the 2018 seasons, how they stand right now, where they left off for the mid-season finales. How is the character development? How are the new characters? Is there a lot of emotional depth? Any character deaths? Interesting new villains that are actually three-dimensional? All of these things are going to get played into this because I am analyzing all of those 5 aforementioned shows in their 2018 seasons so far, and I'm super excited for this, so hope you guys are ready for my ranking of the Arrowverse and Black Lightning 2018 seasons so far.
Anybody need a refill? Just me?
I can't tell you I'm not enjoying the current season of The Flash, as it is certainly grabbing me, as it always has. However, Season 5 hasn't quite impressed me in some of the ways that earlier seasons did, or in the way that its crossover counterparts are right now. The Flash's biggest gripe in the current season is a lack of strong episodic villains. At least for me, I struggle to recall the metahumans that caused threats to Team Flash in the last few months, besides its main villain, who we will certainly get to.
But I want to fix all that.
I know that Season 5 has so far brought us a freaky ragdoll, a girl that can control minds with her phone, and one who can alter the weather, just like her father, amongst others.
Oh, don't feel bad. He was a selfish dick who abandoned his family. Anyway...
Now, I haven't found myself all that impressed in the long run with any of these metahuman threats as much as I had hoped for. They aren't always bad, but they just haven't really stuck with me all that much. But The Flash is also dealing with some really interesting villains and using its protagonists' relationships with themselves and one another's in some really great narrative manners. Team Flash's newest members, Nora Allen and Harrison Sherlock Wells, are notable in some great team dynamics and character moments. First things first, I am once more really loving the character that Tom Cavanaugh decided to bring to the table this time around.
Sherlock Wells.
Sherlock, L-O-Q-U-E, Sherlock in French.
With every season, there seems to be a new take on Harrison Wells, and this time around, Sherlock Wells is funny, sarcastic, wildly intelligent, and a pretty unique take on the team's current version of the fan-favorite character and actor alike. I also do like Nora Allen a lot too, for the most part, though I have sometimes found her antics to be a little frustrating. What she does bring to the table is impossible to ignore. Where the current season shines best for me is in that. Nora seems to be back and forth with which parent is her favorite, but it is pretty justifiable and even really heartfelt at times.
It was about Mom helping Dad.
Nora always looks up to Barry greatly because of the hero that he was to her in the stories, one who she never got to actually know. And at first, Iris and her really do get off on the wrong foot, but with time, Nora will find herself admiring her mother just as much for the human heroics that she pulls off, and the risks that she always takes for the greater good. And it is really interesting seeing her connect with these parents and teach them about themselves in the long run.
Do you know what hurt the most about learning I had powers? Not hearing it from my mom.
Now, Chris Klein's role as the main antagonist, Cicada, hasn't quite amazed me in terms of acting, though he isn't too bad. But it is really in the character's backstory. That is where my attention lands. Cicada, or Orland Dwyer, hates metahumans because of how his niece, who he took in as his own daughter, and built quite a stable relationship as well, was put into a coma from a metahuman-related incident, that being the Night of the Enlightenment.
Go, 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 go.
He feels for her after the relationship that they did build, and is really vengeful as a result, but also he has access to a power-stealing dagger. While Cicada's design is super cool, as are the powers he wields, which are equally menacing. I'm a little bothered by the fact that he seems to be either way too powerful, yet Team Flash inevitably has to be way too powerful to get away, but also not powerful enough to stop him. But overall, Season 5 is ultimately proving to be a really interesting one, and it just really hasn't found its depth or exhilaration to place higher for me. DC's Legends of Tomorrow started off on the wrong foot if you ask me. I can recall being significantly underwhelmed by Vandal Savage as well as Hawkgirl and Hawkman.
I may die, but you will live knowing that you failed to save the lives.
However, I have come to find that Legends of Tomorrow is a hilarious and campy show in all the best ways possible. Currently, the 4th season is pretty crazy, but it does really well with its intentional silliness. I love that they're not afraid to make funny characters, dialogue, and moments alike in the show as its main shtick.
Flying through history, solving some mysteries. We give bad guys the boot in superhero suits.
And of course, I can't sit here and tell you that it's the most amazing or deep storytelling either, but it works quite well enough for what it is, and there are even a few heartfelt moments here and there. Legends of Tomorrow's current season uses new characters this season quite well, and it coupled them with the show's hilarity and some great manners. And the same can be said for its use of recurring faces, giving them some more prominent roles per se. I thought the use of director Ava Sharp in the Time Bureau was a solid direction for the show this time around. Sharp's personality being quite maintained and uptight, clashing with the behavior of her love interest in Sarah Lance, as well as the Legends as a whole, made me feel more than a few times that I was really enjoying their interactions.
Happy birthday, Director Sharp.
Oh, sweet God. Wow. You know that I don't normally like to celebrate my birthday, but...
Well, I am here to fix that, so close your eyes.
And Nate's decision to join the Time Bureau basically full-time, instead of fighting alongside his team, was quite the shocker, and it came with a really good narrative push for the character. And I do like that his relationship with a father who had never supported him shifted to one that evokes love and of course a few good laughs alike. The way that Nate became close with Ava, Gary, who I may say is probably the funniest, but of course also the silliest character across the Arrowverse.
You, Mr. Unicorn.
And the Bureau as a whole actually did character development a lot better than I expected. And the Bureau's involvement with demons, a main point of this current season, was always relevant, making them a central plot device at all times. Mona proved to be a quite funny character in it as well, even shifting Ava's opinion on some demons, including that of Nora Dark.
Whoa, okay, I need to hear your entire life stories right now.
No!
And then there were the rest of the demons, monsters, and magical beings alike that the Legends would face across the first half of season 4. And some of them were really forgettable. Others were not so much just the villain of the episode types. But best of all has been Charlie. For me, I really liked her, and when Ray became friends with her in a way during his punk rock escapade, I knew that she was going to be a really good character. And once Constantine killed her powers for a short amount of time and left her in the form of a Maya, the misadventures of the Legends with her amongst them were even more dramatic and funny and just better.
You look beautiful.
You stinking mitts off of me, bro!
She was funny, charming, and really proved her worth in the latter episodes, as she realized that she kind of liked being on a team and doing just things after all.
Someone would send an innocent to hell. Don't fall for his bloody parlor tricks. Ray said your team's moral compass is missing.
Can you send her to hell?
And Matt Ryan returning as Constantine is also really good. Though I did feel like his presence didn't quite blow me away like I hoped for this season, there was more than enough times where his charm just alone made up for his time being on the team, and a really good time at that.
Tired, hungover, and in need of a stiff one. Dealer's choice as to what that's a euphemism for.
So overall, I have definitely enjoyed season 4 of Legends of Tomorrow where it stands. It doesn't have enough in terms of powerful themes or messages that the next 3 shows will have proved to me so far though.
Why? Inoa?
Konane.
Konane.
The youngest of the shows in this ranking, and the only one that is technically not a part of the Arrowverse, takes a midpoint for its current season.
There she is. My power doesn't come from the suit. Thanks for the charge, though.
Season 2 of Black Lightning continued to be really stellar for the most part, like its excellent debut season. Black Lightning's best force has to be Tobias Whale. Rapper and actor Cronin's performance as the main villain was really flawless in season 1, and his recurring presence as the true force to be reckoned with today remains to be an all-time great.
I adhere to the law of the jungle. Either you're dining or you're dinner.
I find that Tobias's on-screen presence is equal parts menacing and captivating, always resulting in proof that he is really the powerful leader that he is supposed to be and sought after. The early episodes of this season saw Tobias captured and brought to justice, all to backfire, as no proof of his murdering of Alvin Pierce was able to be shown after all, thanks to his inside power that Tobias has. I love the impact that this man has had and continues to have on Jefferson Pierce and his family across season 2.
I can only hope and offer up my prayers that one day, after 30 years, they finally find the person who really killed Alvin Pierce. If for no other reason than to allow Jefferson Pierce and his family to finally find peace. Now, if you'll kindly excuse me.
Thank you for your time.
The dynamic between Tobias and Khalil, though, is perhaps the finest of the show right now, and my favorite. He took Khalil in and gave him powers, legs, and a home. The idea that Tobias was a guardian of sorts turned Khalil bad. However, I love that this season's halfway point wraps up with Khalil being very much against all of that.
I've been waiting to beat your pasty ass.
Season 2 took his alter ego of Painkiller, really analyzed it, let him analyze it, and then it also took it apart. And Khalil ultimately has proved to be one of my favorite parts of Black Lightning's second season so far, because of his dynamic interactions with Jennifer, Tobias, and of course himself.
Damn, do it again.
Khalil, that ain't funny.
Hey, yo, I'm not laughing. Yo, that kiss was fire.
And the final moments of the last episode were extremely thrilling as Tobias went after Khalil and Jennifer with all of his might and genuinely struck fear into him. The same fear was of course struck into the entire Pierce family. Even Black Lightning and Thunder, or Jefferson and Anissa respectively, could not save Jennifer from running off with Khalil and being chased down by Tobias as a result. So this also plays into the whole family drama, which is really intense and well written as well.
What's your tone, young lady? Jen!
Outside of all these wonderful character moments though, the season did bring into play some who I could not really find a reason to care for after all. In fact, struggling to remember their names, Khalil's mother, Parina, the Sanjay, and anyone who was involved with Lynn's green light baby testing. In fact, the whole storyline as a whole in some ways, all kind of came and went for me.
No, I don't want anything to do with you. What are you talking about? Nothing. No, you can't be my baby. My baby is dead. No, I was relieved when you died.
But the overall idea of Tobias leaving Freeland to think that he is some sort of hero, alongside ideas like Jefferson questioning his parenting and the complications that the Pierce family has with their powers and relationships, as well as that of Khalil's evolution from a villain to a caring and damaged individual, all help make this season a really incredible one, with interesting writing, character development, and storytelling galore.
Pierce girl again. Like at Club 100 and a seahorse.